Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to this year. 2021 is in full effect, and we are here with our first edition of the Black Boys podcast for the year. We'll be going for the next hour. What's up? How you doing? What's up? On my way with Una. Shout out to y'all. For the next hour, we'll just be discussing me and Ty, maybe some stuff for the new year, how things are going with Black Boys Own, some things that we've got going on, and answering your questions. So I see there are 9 of you in this chat right now. If you 9 people could just drop in a question, that would make this go a lot easier, right? Anything that you want to talk about. It could be anything about yoga, anything about Black Boys Own, personal question. I don't mind. I'm down to answer. And when Ty gets on, we will answer those questions. So yeah, I wanted to mention yikes. There we go. How y'all doing? All right. Yes. So we have a few announcements. We are raising money for our organization. 20,000 this year is our goal. So if you have $5, 5 cents, even $50, $5,000, $500, $200, $2, whatever you got, visit blackboysown.org. Drop us some money in so that we can get more teachers, black male teachers, teaching yoga to young boys. Right, we're very, very passionate about making sure that black young men are being led by older black men, and giving them the opportunity to connect is what our organization is all about. So every dollar that you give goes towards one of those groups, right? Either a black man teaching yoga or getting a black man in front of a person that is a young boy, a black boy who needs yoga, and getting our steps aligned, right? We're working on getting towards, what's up, Ty? Let me see, Ty just came in. Let's get him live. Towards getting one-on-one mentorship between boys this coming year. So what's up, Ty? How you living?
Corvette. Hop in the mother just like that. Let me stop.
You feeling good?
Yeah, man, today's my born day, you feel me?
I didn't realize that. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
What's the word?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. We're talking about, I was just telling people, and actually we got a few questions, but telling people about the fundraising that we're doing and our plans for the coming year, letting them know about the one-on-one training along with, there's one more thing I'm forgetting. Oh, excuse me. Our live classes will be coming back this year as well. So letting people know just what the updates are. And then coming in to maybe answer one of these questions. The Decolonizing Yoga Collective. Hello, how are you? She said, I have 3 boys, 1 easy. How do I get my other 2 busy boys, interested in sitting still for meditation? That's a really good question. I can answer that, or if you want to, you can go ahead, Ty.
I'm following your lead, B. Go ahead.
Well, the way I did it, because I have 2 boys and a girl, is you got to give. That's really what this yoga practice was, for how it was, a way that it was focused early on. Ashtanga yoga, particularly, that I'm talking about, is to get your body really tired. So that's something that you can do after they come in from outside playing. You can have them. That's a great time to ask them to take a seat. If you have a yoga practice like with sun salutations with them, give them something so that they're actively moving. They get their heart rate moving, and then they'll naturally want to settle down.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Andrew. Being the example is another great way to get your kids interested. Like a lot of times, what I notice that kids love the most is that you're an adult talking to them. So just getting on the floor with them, like getting to their level, is a great way for them to be more interested in, like, why are you down here? What's going on? Than you telling them, hey, I want you to meditate just because, right? Maybe depending on their ages, giving them something to think about. Also trying, like for instance, like you say, lay back, pretend you're in a large field with like tall grass and it's really soft. Like giving them something to imagine is a great way to do it. And then also, I used to, and my kids would laugh when I turned it on. My kids at school, but Mind Headspace, the app Headspace has its. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to get my charger soon. But Headspace has a kids um, like focus, right? Basically, so that you can. What am I trying to say? They have a kids meditation, right? So he'll say, like, imagine that you have like a balloon in your stomach and you're inflating the balloon and deflating the balloon, right? So it kind of just depends on like what creative ways you that resonate with your kids. Normally, I will say that kids, especially kids that like to move a lot, really enjoy meditation after they get it. They really like that they feel calm. They'll tell you how they feel still and peaceful. And they'll normally pick up the habit on their own if you get them to do it consistently. Like you'll see the kids that are just like all over the place using it as a tool, right? Because they need it the most. So I mean that would be my I guess quick and dirty how to get your kid to sit still. It's gonna take time. And then maybe also I guess my final thing is because it's gonna take time, it's going to take consistency. So trying to get at least a minute in a day is going to make a huge difference, right? It's one thing to think that I'm just going to pull this out with my kids at their like highest anger. That's not how it normally works. Like they need to have it as a constant in their life for it to stick. And you'll know it sticks not when they can do 6 or 7 minutes, but when they choose to do it on their own, right? And so yeah, that would be what I have to say. Hey to everybody who's joining in. I see Dust Till Dawn, Evolving Lives, Body Mind, Justin, Journey to Antoinette, Gigi. What's up, y'all? We're answering questions during our first year of. Thank you, Allison. Doing our first podcast of the year. So if you have any questions, of course. If you have any more questions decolonizing yoga, you can just let me know. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep waving at folks. If you wanted to jump on Ty and maybe offer some ways you connected with young men, I think that'd be dope.
Oh yeah, not a problem. So I was able to do a summer yoga program for the city of Newark. I think 5 and 11. So I taught the patient piece class, so room out and see that they get heavily distracted. So I had to sit there and do some research on what ways that I can get these students to sit still. So what I did, I start just like I do any other yoga class. I do a flow first, get their bodies like moving, warm. And you know how kids do when they run around enough, they get tired, they want to sit. So after doing like some extensive yoga, I put them in Savasana, and the reviews that I received, it was amazing. So I asked between like the 5 and 8 age group first, how do you feel? They say, okay, I feel tired, or I feel sleepy. But then the narration started, I started going up the ladder, right? I feel calm. I feel peaceful. I feel like I have good energy in me. So I think what it is that, hey, I think they want to see,
they want to see the baby.
Yeah.
Nah, keep going. You're doing. I'm taking this all in.
No. I mean, I think it always starts with a flow first, man. Going to meditation. Kids want to act around. Kids want to sit there and feel like they're doing some extracurricular activity. So just getting them in yoga is definitely a great space before meditation, because now not only after they finish Savasana, asking questions. What just happened? Why does my body feel so peaceful? Why does my body feel so calm? Now, that's when the education piece starts coming in, right? So then we started doing like meditation workshops, coming from how to stay focused, how to delete certain things within your life and focus on one thing, right? Working on breath control. Some of them didn't even know breathing properly was a thing. So
Yeah.
now they're more like conscious.
They're curious. You got to wake up the curiosity. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So, bad. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think what it is first is just getting their bodies and their minds energetic, getting them warmed up, getting them geared. From there, when they're at peace, they can definitely start doing like different activities in reference to the learning. Okay, you know what? I'm tired now. I don't feel like moving anymore. I'm ready to sit there and either eat, sleep, or learn. And about it is I keep my students so active within the practice. Sometimes I even have them teach. I did a popcorn meditation one day, and it was beautiful because they were saying things about alignment, breath control, making sure your outer breath and your inner breath. Breathe in affirmations, exhale them out to the universe. I'm like, yo, you're only 5, you're only 6, you're only 7. Yeah. But the thing, right? It doesn't always have to be the cow says moo, go to warrior 2. Now, we don't got to do that, right?
Yeah, you really don't. Yeah.
Right. It's the way that you educate our future leaders of tomorrow. They can understand these words if you break it down to them. They can understand the actions if you're letting them know what they're going to do. So since then, after finishing the summer program, now they want me to teach it every summer now.
Yep. Yeah, that's love, bro. I'm excited to hear that they got you coming back. And I think it's one point you touched on that I want to touch on, I guess, is that you really don't like yoga. I think especially for us, and I think that especially for black kids, black adults as well, but black kids especially, like it's a liberating space. Normally, even as a black kid, you got to walk around and you can't do certain things a regular, a white kid would do, or like an Asian kid would do. You got to be aware of certain things, and yoga, especially when, in places like I'm sure where you're teaching or where I've taught, where the kids don't necessarily have access to it, is very freeing. You see the kids not only have an ownership of like what they like their body is doing in the moment, but they kind of know like I'm doing something for myself. Like,
Right.
But it's in a way that I want to do it. So it's an empowering practice for black kids, especially because it's like for instance, you got your mom who's on your neck, and you got this worry about society that you're being taught. You got a reality that you understand by the age of 5, which is like white kids are treated differently, so you have a place that you're like battling with in your mind. And you see, that's why when you see these, especially, like with Black Boys On, but young boys having taught, at schools, you get to see them really own this responsibility that they've always had. Like they feel like black kids don't do yoga to like feel chill. I've noticed like all the time. Like sometimes, yeah, but a lot of times, at least the young men that I've seen do practice and feel like they can go lead their family, or feel like they can like when I say who needs this in your family, like they think immediately of 6, 7 people and then go teach them, right? And so it's like the weight. I think this unique responsibility of being a black person is not lost on these kids when they practice. Like they use it, they use the practice to navigate feelings that the average child doesn't really have to have or have to go through, considering their circumstances and the circumstances of just being black in the country. So I just think it's a really empowering thing to do. It's something that you don't want to force your kids into. Again, like what I say, you don't want to make it like everything else, right? This is their chance to just play around. Sometimes they're gonna want to just get on the floor and just let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Like teach them parameters so they're not just complete. Like you said, like for instance, my main go-to would be child's pose. Like they will hop into child's pose, hero's pose, or mountain pose. Period. If I child's pose, everybody, the whole class, boom, hero's pose. Everybody's in hero's pose, waiting, prepared to go, or mountain pose. Now everybody's still giving them those type of parameters is gonna make it so that it's manageable for you, and so that you always have like a touch point when they get too out of control. But generally, they're just playing around, like so. Just like let the kids have a good time, refocus them on breath, and the joy that they have will make them decide, like, oh, I like this pose. I want to try this. Hey, Mr. Brandon, can we practice this pose next? And then get like engage them. And I think that that is a huge, like, I'm happy to hear you doing that in that camp for sure. Like, it's Black kids are intelligent in a way that they are forced to be, which is like emotionally intelligent. And so having that communication with them through practice is it teaches the teacher. You know, you'll see them choose poses, or Mr. Brandon, I don't feel, you know, the way they communicate is just, it's amazing. So I'm gonna stop gushing over the kids, but that's kind of the idea. You know, like kids, the young boys that I've taught, like, have taught me more than anybody else that I've ever taught, period.
Facts.
So let it be a learning experience. Yeah, but welcome everybody. Actually, we got 10 folks here. I'm gonna call y'all out. Ask us some questions. Calvin, we got Howard Cosmonaut Palmer, we got the Decolonizing Yoga Collective who asked that great question we just answered. Thank you. Shout out to Chris Hemmings. We got Chani Koo in here, Lisa, Miss Melody, Nike, and Roselle. I hope I said y'all's names correctly, but shout out to y'all. Thank you for joining us. We're just doing our first podcast if you just joined of the year. Actually, I guess we can go into our focus of the day, focus of the pod. We're really the month. What we're going to be doing is focusing this pod on a monthly, like, what am I trying to say? Focus the pod on like a monthly theme, so that it's not just us like rapping about stuff. We at least have some sort of theme, and then maybe we can leave you with a little bit of something to carry through the month. And we also will be doing these the first Fridays. You'll see them, and they'll also be posted on our thing. So go back if you don't get a chance to watch the whole thing now. But yeah, our first theme for this year. Oh, shout out to Mr. Kali Cal. You've just started yoga this past year. It's a great time to start.
Facts.
It's great, and it's funny. I think this really segues into our focus for this month, which is completely needed after 2020, and something that I think is something that we all have. At least we're trying to have. Day one seems to have gone by, knock on wood, excuse me, without a hitch. But our theme for this month is hope. HOPE, hope. Hope, meaning faith, ultimately, that something will happen, right? Something good, or something meaningful, or something with purpose will happen. Hope. And hope is something that was hard to come by last year for a lot of us. But it was also something that was abundant in the face of loss. You know, like there was a lot of opportunity to be hopeful, even though, you know, a lot of times we were disappointed. And so the practice of being hopeful is a practice within itself, and something that I think, you know, resonates with our practice of yoga, you know, heavily. And so I'm wondering, Ty, like, how does 2020, you know, what's your hope for this year, and how are you going to move this year differently to kind of get towards that hope, to make that hope a reality?
I feel like it's just more evolution, just continue to keep evolving every day. 2020 wasn't really, I didn't look at 20 as, oh man, just because the world's resetting, a lot of things that are happening behind closed doors that I'm not going to be able to do anything. I took 2020 by storm, actually. I got my cert to be a yoga teacher, and then I got 7 certs right after that, started 5 businesses. I just released my website the other day, released my clothing line 2 days before that. So it's just more constantly continuing to keep improving. And what got me there was hope and faith, right? So I could have easily said, you know what, I'm going to let 2020 just take over my power. I'm going to let the naysayers and people going to make it, just let them win. But I decided a higher power. I believed in the divine to get me to where I'm at today. And just being a Black man, period, just say I can be alive every single day. That was just an accomplishment itself outside of it, right? So I think what I'm going to be moving in 2021 I don't believe in the whole new year, new me. I believe in more of a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to constantly continue to keep enhancing my practice, my ways to constantly continue to keep getting better. I think we put ourselves in these boxes that just because society, the societal norm tells us to be in, this is where we got to stay. No, we don't have to. We can do whatever we can do whatever we want. And but you have to make a choice to do that. You can choose to sit there and believe that your life is going to get better, and now you verbalizing it, you're doing with action, or you can choose to just stay stagnant. So the hope piece definitely came when I knew what my why was, and then after I found out what my why was, I move forward in that goal. Now, granted, you know, you're going to have some trials and tribulations. You're going to have bumps in the road, but that's what life's going to prepare you for, right? And I think we need to realize that we don't want nothing easy, because when we get it the way we got it, we appreciate it more. We're more. It's more humility that comes with them, right? Like, if you got it easy, times get hard, you're not going to know what to do. But the fact that you gravitate into the experience of saying, you know what, there have been some sleepless nights. There have been some times that I couldn't be able to finish a project today. There's been some times that I couldn't even tap in with my business or my family. That it was too many things going on. But when you learn how to master those things, right, and it can come within meditation, it can come with just taking a day to self, right, a rest day. It can come when, you know what, I'm just going to literally organize, get myself structured, journal, you know, put things in perspective. Then you see like the new outlook on life, right? So you have a choice to be hopeful. You have a choice to be faithful. So I think what I would tell all the followers out there is do what makes you happy. Do what's in your means, you know, and be uncomfortable. And when you be uncomfortable, you'll find that faith will take you way more than being just comfortable, because everything uncomfortable is by faith. Because you'll say, yo, how did I get through the role? How did I manage to start this business, go back to school, get married, have a kid, be able to start this new life? You did that because you believed in something. You believed that it was something more great than your test that today. So I would say just constantly gravitate into that feeling, and don't let anybody else take you out of that zone that you're in. And that might mean you might have to leave or be removed from certain beings and spirits that don't belong in that time. Then it happens, you know, continue leading with love. But it's in that very moment that you realize that your worth is way more important than somebody else's. And the real gonna always understand that, you know what, she's about her business or he's about his business, and I'm the only a phone call or text away if they need me, and I can easily just get back on the phone with them, and they know it's going to be all up. You don't have a timeline or deadline on when you need to speak to people or when you need to check in. You know what I mean? But you do have a timeline and a deadline when you need to check in on yourself, because you can lose yourself in this process. So that's what I would say personally, what hope brought me into 2020 and how I'm taking it into 2021 is more elevation and learning that it's the process. But I'm focused on the process more than my.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the wisdom that comes with the practice too. I mean, you know, congratulations on starting the businesses. Congratulations on your certification. You remind me of somebody I know. It's interesting to see just the natural creativity that comes, like I said, not just for Black boys, but for Black men also, in that freedom of, like you said, of the practice of learning, because the practice really is just that, you know, like a lot of times our body's not going to get into a shape for a bevy of reasons, right? If you just don't feel like your body is not there, you know what I'm saying? It could be your mind is not there, it could be your spirit's not there, for whatever. But what the practice teaches you in just the poses being the same and consistent and there, and you just sit and breathe, is hope. You know, yeah, at some point, you're just hoping that that triangle works itself out, hoping that you can make it to this next variation, or hope is hope. You know what I'm saying? And so I really think that it's cool to see how, as your life is unfolding in a, or just unfolding in a way that, you know, is based from that hope, you can start to see where you water these like if you practice triangle pose, right? At first you're starting until you can see, oh, that's what he's doing, right? And so it's cool to see kind of where your mindset was at the beginning and where that hope has carried it. And hope in itself is not necessarily, like, I think we like to think of it as like a promise. Like, it's not. You know, a lot of times you're just hoping, like, you're just committed to keeping your eyes on that thing, right? You don't know how it's gonna come. You don't know if you're gonna get blinded, or you don't know if it's not gonna be the same thing when you actually see it. But you're just looking in that direction and just keeping going. And it's a beautiful path to walk. It's definitely a beautiful path to walk. Like, I don't know. And yoga just teaches you how to take each step and not worry about what's coming. Not worry about where you came from. Just next step on the path, next step on the path, next breath, and being steady, you know. And so I think my hopes for this year are to continue the work that we're doing Black Boys On, for sure, and make it even better and bigger, for the boys that are there, and for the Black men that we are serving. I want to use a little bit more of our capital to get in front of more boys, more men, also to do more opportunity, specifically with our Yoga in the Park initiatives, and getting just the Black man focus on wellness out there. I'm hopeful this year to be a little bit more personable, doing things like this, talking more, and making wellness as the lifestyle really what my focus is, compared to just the instructional kind of yoga side. I'm sorry, Allison's crawling. And yeah, I'm just hopeful that we all continue to win. It seems like the Black male community, Black female community, Black trans community, all, you know, all these different groups of people within the same community seem to be focusing on wellness and trying to uplift each other. And so I'm hopeful that that continues, and hopeful that we can find ways to, like, reach more people, you know, like, just continue growth. I think you said it best, like, continue to evolve, you know, and keep things, you know, in perspective. And shout out to y'all if you're just joining us. This is the Black Boys Own podcast, being taken over by Allison for a second. Black Boys Own podcast, where we are going to meet once a month to answer any of your questions about what's going on in Black Boys Own, what's going on in the world, and what you have to know, what you want to know about yoga. My name is Brandon Copeland. You can follow me at Brando Flows. This is Ty, Yoga Every Day. Shout out to Ty and his company, Yoga Every Day. Check out his businesses and be sure to support Allison. Leave that alone. Allison, come on now.
He's a great father, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm always fathering and parenting. So, you know, even through the pandemic, which has been great for me, because now I can just yell at my kids and people are like, yeah, okay, he's at home. It's cool. You know, like, people are used to background noise, which works out for families.
Great content.
Yeah. But let me read some from. I saw somebody had a comment. Said, I was watching under Ty's page and the comments were off, but I switched to Black Boys Own. Congrats to everything you both have achieved. Thank you. Shani. I'm gonna go with Shani. I might be. I'm notoriously bad at people's names, so I'm sorry if I messed that up. But yeah, and I think one thing that you touched on that I think is so interesting is the 2020 part, and how it's hope. Like, I don't know. I always like to think, and it sounds like you kind of took this perspective and made it a reality. Go get mommy. Oh, go get mommy. There you go. All right. Where it's like, whenever I see somebody within like 5 or 10 yards on a football field, and it's like 40 seconds left or 30 seconds left, like, I get really excited, because you're like, this is the moment where heroes are made. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if they're down by like 6 points and it's more likely that they're not going to be able to get in, and they're playing the Patriots, so, you know, and you're just like, it's like that. For me, I think that the joy of seeing people accomplish things through as a yoga teacher, but even hearing you now and practice as a practitioner myself, is that you need hope in order to see something that it seems impossible, right? And I think that for us, that hope for me is really important, because when I started practicing wellness, it was like 2009. Like, black wellness was not popular. Like, you know, it wasn't like not even in a way, like nothing was as popular as it is now, because social media had just come out. So it wasn't, I mean, even if it was popular, I didn't know about it. And every time I went to a yoga studio, I was the only black person there. I was normally the only man there, and definitely the only black man there. And so it was like, for me, hope for them was just showing up. You know, it wasn't that it was like, I hope that now, you know, we're talking on our podcast for a black yoga, you know, men's group that teaches little boys. Like, that didn't exist. And so, like, for me, hope is like a sign of the trend. It's like a neon sign. Like, if you have to hope for something, it's a neon sign you're headed in the right direction. Because there's something, like, the only thing that you're acknowledging when you're hoping for something is that there is something out there that's going to connect you with it, either, or something within you that's going to connect you with whatever that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it's like, I didn't even have the hope for this, like, reality that we're in right now. I just was, you know, hoping to get something for myself, you know, hoping to see what it was like, hoping to relax and take a next breath, and then leaving a room open for possibilities. I think that is like the big part about it, because your hope isn't like, you don't see the end goal, so you can't hope for specifics. But if you leave things open to possibility and follow that, like, feeling of like, hopefully this works, hopefully I'm doing the right thing, hopefully like, you start to, that's how you manifest, that's how you create something from nothing, you know. And so I just this is a exciting time for me, because I personally, especially when it comes to Black Boys Own, um,
I think we lost them.
doing it is good. Yeah, my bad. No, it was me. My phone is trying to die on me. I'm not gonna let it. But you know, like, it's like, you know, when you are just kind of like thrust into a situation and you don't feel as if you know why. After a while, you're just kind of doing it. Like, for me, yoga came up like I had a hope that this thing would happen, and it started to. And so I've been, for the last like 7 years, like, doing it, you know, like, there's a black yoga movement, you know, like, really trying to help and play my part and be available. And I think that what this year allowed for me to do, because I was getting to a place where I felt like I was spinning my wheels, it gave me the hope that even if I stopped, like this, like, if you notice over these past like 6, 7 months of COVID, 8 months, I kind of stopped posting as much and stopped, like, saying come to my class and stuff like that. I took some time for myself because I needed it. You know, really, really, really needed to just, like, be with my family. And so people like you, people like Danny, like, in stepping back into that place of vulnerability, we're like, I hope this works. I hope I don't lose everybody. I hope, you know, that they keep practicing, and hope that this thing's happen. All these greater things have happened. You know, I ended up in that hiatus doing the largest teacher training, you know, with the help of Ahmed and Davina. Learned a lot from that. Learned a lot. Like, have completely kind of refocused where my yoga teaching is, kind of my thought pattern is going. And all of that, again, came from a place where I was starting to feel hopeless, where I was like, I know I have to do this, not have to do this thing, but love this thing, but it's becoming to feel like something that I have to do, or something that, you know, is not as organic, right? And so it's nice to step back and find hope in a chill place, you know, and to know that it's not just about succeeding or exceeding or whatever. It's still there with you when you chill out, you know, like, you will get the motivation to figure out where you're going, you know. And I think that is something that we often forget. We think hope is just a response to some negative, and sometimes it has its own spark, you know. It can just be based on, you know, you being engaged and hopeful, you know, that your involvement will mean something, and then you'll figure out a way for that to be true. You know.
Yeah, I think it's the process, bro. Like we all going through it. We all going through it in different means, you know. Like, for example, you're a father, you have kids in the house, like you have someone that's accountable and everything like that. You have others holding themselves disconnected. It might be figuring it out. You have others that are through relationship problems, others that are going through, like everybody's trying to figure it out within their means, right? And I think hope is giving people a space of discernment, a space of loving, a space of tranquility, manifest. Like it's really fun. Like, I think the more we constantly evolve within who we are, that's when you find the meaning and hope. Because if you don't have that, then what do you have, right? I mean, like you said, when you were doing Rocket, I was blown by you, Ahmed and Davina. I was blown back. That actually kept me focused during those trying times. Like every day, I had to wake up, I had to take your meditation, or I had to take one of your classes. By the night, I was taking Davina sessions and stuff like that from books we had to read. During the midday afternoon, I was taking sessions with Ahmed from A Stronger to Rocket. Like there was always something to do. There was always something to keep my mind going. But when everything like a hard stop, it's like, okay, wow, now I got to recalibrate. Now I got to refocus, do things that's not scheduled anymore. Like you got to create your own schedule now. So, but it's in that time that you find yourself. Like I said, man, it's a space that, you know, we're not to, like you said, sometimes you just get jumped into it, put it in front of your face. Now the real question is, what you going to do about it? Are you going to let it be a block, or are you going to let it be a wall that you can't climb, or are you going to sit there and climb that wall? So,
Right.
What is your goal? What is your aspirations? What are you trying to get to the next level? And what does that next level look like to you? Personally, with myself, I was doing this alone. Granted, I had a tribe. Out to my beat tribe, follows Black Boys Own. That was it, you know, and I had some of my brothers that are back home that were checking in here and there. But in reality, I always put on the phone after I finished talking to them on the phone, or that I saw them, because it was like, yo, I'm back home. Like I don't have a significant other. I don't have a loved one. I have someone that's holding me accountable. So I had to be both of those things, right? I had to be myself. I had to be that accountability person. I had to be that loved one. I had to be the one to pick myself off the ground when I thought I couldn't do it. I had to be the one to wipe my own tears. I had to be the one to pick to say, yo, you got this, bro. It's a process, man, but you have to trust the process. You have to claim it. You have to own it. You have to say, you know what, this is mine. I'm going to get it no matter what. It might not be at the time, but it's going to happen. You have to put those positive affirmations out there, because if you don't, only thing you're speaking into your life is not life. You're speaking stagnancy. You're speaking not going to have the will to go on. So you have to claim that. You have to own that. Like, look, man, I'm going to do this regardless. And when you do that, that's when the whole paradigm shifts, right? Like you have the prime opportunity today in 2021 to be like, you know what? This is mine. I'm claiming it. I'm owning it. I want it. And guess what? It's going to happen, but it's going to happen with forward movement. It's going to happen with your action, right? You can't just say something and not do nothing towards it. It's just not going to be like that's just going to drop out of the sky. No, you have to get ready to catch that thing. And how are you going to catch it? You're going to catch it with endurance. You're going to catch it with practice. You're going to catch it with perseverance. You're going to catch it with all the mechanisms that you need to get to that next level, right? And sometimes it's not going to be good days. But you have for the days that you'll wake up in the morning every day to be like, you know what? Granted, it might not be the day that I want, but it's so that's how I look at it, man. So like I said before, to all the followers that in that hope, what is faith? But you are the definition of hope. You woke up today looking for information. You look up today to sit there and say, okay, I need to find a sign. I need to find some type of comment. Well, guess what? We just gave it to you. We just told you that you're going to win. We just told you that your faith is going to get you to the next level. So if you was like overthinking or putting false scenarios in your head or think you couldn't make it, guess what? We're like Brandon and I are claiming your victory today. It's happening. It's going to
It's
happen.
already done.
Like,
You just
so
got to get there.
that's the mindset you need to have going into 2021.
For sure. I mean, I agree. If you're listening to this, I do also, like you said, claim that you will get it. But I want to acknowledge the value of struggle. I think that hope is not hope because you can see the destination. Hope is hope because you can't. Right? You need hope in times of struggle, right? And so I want people to recognize that while we love succeeding, the true value that you're going to get is holding on to that hope with all of your might. Like, it's not that I hoped for a thing and it happened, and that was what was great. It's like, no, that's not really it. What was great was that you had to hold on to hope. You had to struggle. You had to really, like, you kept going into situations that didn't seem like they would be successful, so you had to hope, and so, like, knowing that you are in a position, if you are now, of struggle or of a lesser, you don't have what you need or whatever, get used to enjoying magic happening, right? Hope. You have, like, it's like you have to put yourself in the position, like, I don't know, I used to just get stupid. I don't know how to explain it. Like, when I want something, like, you just get, like, dumb. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't know how this shit's gonna happen, but I'm just, it's just like, I'm just here.
Right.
And so you, like, it's like hope is almost like, have you ever seen what is it, Mr. I think Mr. Bean or like Mr. Magoo or one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy just, like, walking, and, like, he ends up walking, and, like, he, like, walks up onto a beam, and the beam takes him into the air, and, like, as he's about to step off, he steps onto a building, and then as he steps off of that, he, like, steps onto, like, the top of a bus or something. He just keeps walking. Like, that's what it's like to manifest stuff out of nothing, and a lot of times you didn't catch the beam, you fell off that motherfucker, you fell, and you got to get back up and start walking again, and so, like Ty was saying, what he was like, being able to pick yourself up, knowing that your hope is not a guarantee for anything but your commitment. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get the thing, but it is going to teach you so much. Like, it's like the intangibles. I think my whole point is that the intangibles that I think that you gain from just the rote process of holding on to hope is, like, that's what God is, those are the things that you have. And I'd like to DCK Talent, who said, amen, how do you advise those who have given up in life? Well, one, I would say, speak to somebody about it. Like, I try not to take the place of a mental health, counselor. But if it is me that you're asking, one, that's what I would say first, because a lot of times giving up in life is not a choice that is easy to shake yourself out of without somebody really, telling you you're worth it, right? If you can't see your own worth, it's hard to kind of figure out where that worth starts to find hope, But if I had to say anything to somebody who's given up on life, for me, it is remembering what life is about. So a lot of times when we've given up, I think, at least of what I've seen, people have decided that whatever their issue is or whatever the problem is that they're facing is bigger than their life. It's more important or more valuable or more distracting. And that could be, like, not just for these people who are just deciding, but like with depression, you have like a track going on in your head, like people's upbringing, physically, and biologically, right? You might not be able to see, you might not physically be able to produce the thing that it requires for you to, like, to have hope. You might not be cognitively, like, there or emotionally there. So what I like to say to people who, like, or when I feel hopeless, because I do feel hopeless, at times, I always go back to nature. If I would say, like, the thing that I think that I'm even getting at in general, as far as, like, having to struggle, etc., like, all of these, like, it's like evolutionarily, hope is what gets you through the forest. It's what gets you through, the jungle. It's what it's all of these things that we can use. And so when I try to connect back to nature, a lot of times the instinct is what you rely on, and what will make you say, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep going forward. I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna. I don't know, but something tells me." Right, getting that something tells me voice back, I think, is a great way to stay motivated. If you're, even if you are, just using hope for your general daily stuff, but definitely to those who have maybe given up in life or feel as if it's not worth it. Like, it's the small wins that I can't tell you about that are biggest. Like, and the ones that we often forget. As the reason as to why we do a lot of this stuff. Like, it's the kids that are tough in my classes that I end up cracking by the end of the year and getting them to like chill and blah blah blah. That, like, I'm the most happy about, like, and so it's like with people who are having those biggest struggles, just know on the other end of that is your biggest happiness. Like, there's nothing greater than being like, for instance, I've been broke for a long time, like a long time, but we're not like I worked really hard, and now I'm at the point now, like, it was really simple. I was at CVS the other day, and I went today, and I went and to get some trash bags, and just saw all the different types of trash bags, but picked the hefty ones with the extra and everything just because I can. Normally, you're like, yo, or for me before, it was like, okay, let me get the heavy duty black ones with like the off brand one, or the this or the that. And so it's just nice to be at the other end where it's not a big, like I said, it's not a big thing, like where it's like, oh, there's been times where I was about to be evicted, did not have hope, like, $6,000 in like 30 days, type, like bad stuff. And you don't realize, what I realize now is that what I would have been getting out of that feeling, which I would have enjoyed, what now on the other side of that is not that there's more, but that there's just less worry. And so it's like the things that we hope for. Like, I was hoping that I'd get to $10,000 and I'd be able to do whatever I got. But like, the hope is just getting you to the place where you realize, oh, like, you can see the view, and you're just like, oh wow, I thought that it would be that I needed this one thing. What I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize is that if what your hope is teaching you is that you healing yourself is the answer, right? That's where you sit in, like, when people are sitting back and like hoping that they get rich or that they find this, or hoping that this person, and they find out that, like, after sticking to it and going through the adventure, like, oh wow, it was me that I was looking for this whole time. And so for anybody who's out there who's giving up on life, just know your hope is not bringing you to something outside of yourself. It's bringing you to yourself in a way that you feel comfortable and confident and happy. And that could be physically. There could be, you have hope to get a job, or like get better income for yourself, or to, I don't know, be better, nicer to yourself. Like, all of these things are opportunities that you're going to benefit from by sticking to hope. By sticking to a belief that you're worth it, and remembering why can be hard sometimes. So get out, walk around, practice, breathe, right? A deep breath makes everybody feel good, for the most part, unless it's, these medical, issues or whatever. But and even then, if you didn't have the medical issues, you'd feel good taking the deep breath, like that injection of life reminds us as to why we should be hopeful. And so I think it's important that people practice not just yoga, but things that connect them to that breath, and give themselves reasons to be hopeful. So yeah, I've been rapping. We got like 10 minutes left. If you wanna cover anything, Ty,
I was
in our last 10.
Yeah, I was gonna see comments saying before I go into anything, just to see what the followers are saying.
Okay. Yeah, I see DCK Talent says he's watching from Kenya, which is amazing.
Wow.
I want to say it's, let me see if I want to say it's late there. That's actually pretty late. It's cool. One of my memories from the BLM Rocket Yoga training was DJing the last like celebration, and by like I stayed and DJ that thing till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was supposed to be like from like 10 to like 12. It was so fun. But somebody was from Kenya, and they were watching, and we had like City Girls on or something, and like the sun was rising in Kenya, and I'm like, yo, this is like the coolest thing ever. So shout out to Kenya, shout out to y'all in Africa, shout out to the comments. Oh wow, it's 150. I knew it was late. 150. Yeah. So they're saying during this COVID-19 period, many have lost their jobs in Africa. How can we adjust? I wish I knew, fam.
Man,
This
great.
this thing is, yeah, this COVID thing has been wild. I think that one thing I've enjoyed, excuse my kid in the background, but one thing that I've enjoyed is seeing people rely on each other, like seeing people like practicing more together and trying to eat together, you know, like families, like family. So I mean, I don't know, fam. I don't know. The yogi in me says just breathe and wait. Like that's again the hope again is just it. That and that's the beautiful thing about it too. It's just hope. Hope plus action, right? Is effort, and now you're what. But hope in itself is just hope. You just have hope. You just sit there and be hopeful until the end, right? You know, and so it's like start there, have hope and see what you need and walk towards it. That's what I would say. I don't know what that means, and I don't know what specific. I don't say know what that means, but I don't know what that specifically means for you. I'm not saying what action you should take, but I do know that human ingenuity plus hope plus action normally results in the solution, right? And so I'm hopeful for you all, especially in Africa. But I mean, there's kids up the street from me now that are going through the same thing. So I tell them the same thing. Be patient with yourself. Wait, she said her name too. Let me not mess it up. She like spelled it out, and I was still trying to.
I think it's
Shawnee.
she's
Shout out to you.
about to come for you, B.
Yeah, she was. I was like, dang, you can't be messing up black women's names. It's not cool. Shawnee. I think you're black, Shawnee. Where am I? I'm assuming. So, yeah, I would say that be patient. Like you said, be patient with yourself, but be present, be consistent. You know. Oh yeah, I got it, Shawnee. All right, boom. Yeah, she is black. I can see. Yeah, go ahead, Shawnee. But yeah, what would you say to that? Maybe as our final word, Ty.
Final words is that I feel like we gave you the gem to get through 2021, just starting our first month. Hope is definitely going to get you where you need to go. I think Brandon dropped a lot of gems that I can, and I'm humble that whatever you in 2021, we're thankful for victory today. Like I need you to realize that whatever you will, I mean, either continue to keep, as long as it's positive, of course, continue to keep exhuming within that day. If you felt like you woke up groggy, if you woke up like not in a great space, but guess what? We just put you back in a great space and take that energy within to the end of the day, to the next day, to the next day. Remember what this feeling feels like, right? And just continue to keep believing, man. Like we can't force your belief. We can't sit there and force your faith. But only we can do is to assist and proper you need so you can go on the journey. But we're always here to uplift, man. I'm I have around me. I'm thankful for just thankful for my resiliency. I'm thankful for my strength. I'm just thankful for my power that so I can sit there and go on this journey. But the thing about it is how much time are you putting in within yourself? How much time are you putting in within that goal, that career that you wanted to start, that degree that you wanted to get, that person that you want to love and share time to therapy so you can get that, so you can get better. Like time are you putting it into you? You know, these are all very key components that you need to get to the next level. So I was 555, by the way. Y'all should check out 555 meme. That's another boom. But at the end, just be thankful that you were able to wake up in 2021 and now clean slate. So now decide how you want to make your 2021. Don't let this COVID panoramic, whatever you want to call it, deter you from your goals. You create your own goals. The world doesn't tell you how you sit there and do it. You do it for yourself. And let everybody start drumming to your beat. But yeah, you got this, man. Like what I say that Black Boys Own, Brandon, myself, Danny, and the rest of the Mel Yogi ambassadors that we have, whatever way we can help you, whatever way we can uplift you, need us to do a virtual class. We're around your neighboring areas. If you need to come, want us to teach, do a yoga meditation, you need us to do, to benefit, to help these young men of color, or you just want the spirits, don't hesitate to just DM us on our email. We're here, we're open, ready to work, we're ready to serve. Black Boys Home is built service. So whatever, whatever you need from us, we're going to be here for you the whole year. Please, let's make that happen.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I'm just going to plug our pluggables, our last little bit. If you can, please visit blackboysohm.org and donate, 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 donate. Your money is important. It makes it so that we can continue to do our work. We are 501c3, so this is a nonprofit, national nonprofit that you can write off your taxes. Please do. And also look out for blackboysohm.org to be hosting our classes, our weekly classes, starting again, I believe this month. And then finally, we'll have one-on-one opportunities. So if you're a black man or a black boy that's listening to this and is interested in practice, in learning more and joining the collective, please reach out. You can reach out to us via our socials at Black Boys Own, or you can read on Twitter and Facebook, or you can reach us via email at blackboysown@gmail.com. I'm Brandon Copeland. I have been here since the beginning, founded Black Boys Own, and I'm very proud of that, along with Danny, who's not here with us right now. He's on a flight, so he's alive, but he's just on a flight. And have been blessed to be connected with brothers like Ty, and you know, a bevy of others that are across 90 countries, and something that we're very proud of. And so,
Young old body. So I know y'all so used to seeing Danny and Brandon, so they just brought me on board. I'm like the youngin in the group, but I don't care. I'm learning a lot of lessons from Brandon and Danny. They're bringing me up the ropes to I'm just thankful to be on this platform, man. It's a beautiful experience. I look at Brandon and Danny as brothers. They guided me during this process, and I mean, I always tell Brandon all the time, man. Like, yo, I need to get where you at. He always saying like, yo, Tyler, you just started, bro. Like,
nah, I mean, it's not even that. It's funny because what I found, like I was saying, like you think, like it's funny that people feel like I'm somewhere and I'm not. You know, like not to say I'm not, but it's like I don't know, like it's that small little sliver of hope, like, and holding on to that has been my focus for so long, that you forget about the things that you've done. And so, yeah, just, hey, man, like you're where you need to be. It's just, I don't know, that is where I feel like I've gotten to now. It's just acceptance that I'm just a guy, and that's cool. You know, like, and that in itself is liberating for other people, and that's lovely. You know, I think that's a lovely thing. So I love you, brother.
I love you more, bro.
Yes, sir. And we love you all. So please share this, like it, comment, give us feedback, ask questions for next month. We'll see you next first Friday of February, where we'll be talking about a whole new thing. But keep hope in your hearts for this month and going forward.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.